Hi guys, it's Jessica here, and welcome to this edition of the Quotation Bank Revision Tutorials, helping you with your GCSE Literature exams. In these videos we take a key quotation from the text and provide a great model for how to go about analysing it precisely, and provide you with the framework for an excellent revision activity you can do on your own. In this episode we're looking at A Christmas Carol, following the format of our Quotation Bank study guides, where we take 25 key quotations and explore interpretations, literary techniques, analysis, and suggestions on which essays the quotations could be used in. The Quotation Bank has guides for a variety of GCSE texts available on our website, Amazon or online, so go and have a look, as well as follow us on social media. And if you find this video useful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe here on YouTube. Today we are looking at a quotation that depicts the nature and role of the second of the three spirits, focusing on the intense goodness it disperses throughout the world. It is evident that the second spirit is the exact opposite of Scrooge, his counter in every possible way, and it is the visit of the second spirit that truly begins to transform Scrooge. Dickens describes how the spirit stood beside sick beds, and they were cheerful, on foreign lands, and they were close at home, by struggling men, and they were patient in their greater hope, by poverty, and it was rich. He left his blessing and taught Scrooge his precepts. This quotation is part of a longer passage that emphasises both the poverty and destitution in the world. Dickens makes reference to almshouse, hospital and jail, and misery's every refuge, but also the potential for humanity to do good in the world. At the beginning of the novel, the charitable gentlemen state, "A few of us are endeavouring to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth, and are cruelly rejected by Scrooge," whereas here the second spirit forces Scrooge to observe the benefits of kindness. Charity entails more than simply doling out money. It is a moral duty, a spiritual, loving act from one human to another. So what are we going to do with this quotation in our answer, and how can the Quotation Bank help you in your exams? The Quotation Bank makes sure every point you make in an essay clearly fulfills the assessment objectives an examiner will be using when marking your work. So let's begin exploring this quotation by looking at interpretation. The interpretation of each quotation allows you to fulfill assessment objective 1, responding to the text and giving an informed personal response. It is important that you don't simply explain what the quotation means, but that you give your personal response to its effect on the audience. In this quotation, we focus on the fact that the spirit takes misery and makes it good. Scrooge takes potential happiness, such as the young couple we see in Stave 4, and forces pain upon it. Scrooge often talks of how hard he works, and can't afford to make idle people merry. Yet here the spirit conveys that first and foremost, those who are struggling are not looking for money, but for a sense of humanity and support from those who can help them. Furthermore, it costs the spirit nothing in terms of money or effort. He simply stood by them, and the mere presence of someone displaying a sense of sympathy and care is enough to bring optimism and positivity. In contrast, Scrooge's presence brings nothing but suffering. The couple in Stave 4, alongside their children, should be vibrant, happy, and full of vitality. Instead, with Scrooge's shadow lingering over them, they are anxious, and the mother could hardly bear the voices of the children in their play, quite at odds with the spirit's rejuvenating presence. But now we want to delve into some detailed analysis of how Dickens conveys this idea to the audience, and we're going to start by identifying some literary techniques. As you can see, using subject-specific terminology correctly, in this case the literary devices used by Dickens, is a key part of assessment objective 2, and in this quotation, Dickens uses a variety of specific language choices, as well as juxtaposition and imagery. It is important at this stage to remember never technique spot, that is, simply identify literary devices, for example saying this is a metaphor. or suggest Dickens uses imagery as it puts an image in the reader's head. When we identify a literary device, it is important to analyse the effect of that specific example. And if you don't know what the technique is, it really doesn't matter. It is the interpretation and analysis that counts. So let's get to that analysis. We have provided as much analysis as possible. It is a great idea to analyse the quotation in detail. You need to do more than just say what it means, but also what effect the language, form and structure has on the audience. And I want to point out here, never use a quotation of this length in one go in an exam. It is far too long. Instead, take out 5 or 6 key parts of it, 1 or 2 words at a time, to really give depth to the point you are making. So let's analyse some specific details. The spirit makes people cheerful, juxtaposed with Scrooge, who makes them careworn and depressed. The spirit allows them to be patient in their greater hope. Scrooge is merciless. It is important to note that the spirit is not offering handouts. Struggling men implies a hard work and determination amongst the poor, a pride in trying to work their own way out of poverty. By giving them hope, he allows them to maintain their dignity, something Scrooge robs from so many people. The spirit also allows the poor to feel rich, suggesting wealth isn't always measured by money. However, Scrooge makes debtors become quite ruined. Scrooge, like many of the upper class, had little appreciation of the reality of poverty in Victorian London, and was firm in the belief that poverty came from a lack of hard work. If people were poor, it was their own fault. Dickens contradicts that message with the spirit's behaviour in this quotation. Sick beds stresses that whilst people were willing to work, they were often unable to, and in moments of sick vulnerability or foreign loneliness, what is required is a little Christian charity, not necessarily in the financial sense, although that would be helpful, but in a human sense. This is a turning point in the novel. Scrooge is taught his precepts, implying that not only is Scrooge now aware of the error of his ways, but is actively seeking to learn from the spirit. The lesson is a human one, but also a spiritual one. The spirit left his blessing, implying a religious authority within him, and while Scrooge has rejected the advice of the likes of Fred, Cratchit, or the charitable gentleman at the beginning of the novel, by endowing the spirit with spiritual qualities means that if he were to reject the spirit's teaching, an afterlife in hell awaits. Scrooge also sees the simplicity of the change he needs to make. The repetition of the connective "and they" reinforces the ease with which positive behaviour can change lives for the better, and the juxtaposition of sick beds becoming cheerful, representing physical health, foreign lands becoming home, representing mental health, and poverty becoming rich, representing economic well-being, emphasises the scale of good a privileged man could do if he wished. There is a great deal to explore in this quotation, but it is important that you only use it if it is relevant to the question you have been set, and so we are going to look at which essays this quotation might provide useful in. Your answer needs to be focused to fulfil Assessment Objective 1. This section helps you choose relevant quotations and link them together for stronger essays. This quotation certainly provides useful exploration of the theme of education within the novel. Dickens' aim in the novel is not to make readers feel sorry for the poor, but rather to learn the realities of their day-to-day lives. It is vital that Scrooge is not forced to become charitable, but that he is taught the error of his ways, so that he can learn the vital lessons of the novel long term. The broader problems of society are also evident in this quotation. Often readers presume the problems of the poor stem from having no money, but here the spirit highlights the societal problems surrounding health and opportunity, as well as the economic struggles of the poor. It is also clear that one of the major issues within society is a sense of isolation and loneliness. In this quotation there is specific reference to those on foreign lands, and the struggles they face. In contrast, the unadulterated joy of characters such as Fred and Fezziwig stem from the large family network they have around them. The struggling men feel isolated and alone with the burden of supporting a family in times of need, be it Cratchit or the father in Stave 4 that cannot contain his relief at Scrooge's supposed death. Finally, the quotation emphasises the possibility of redemption. As we discussed, the spirit has an element of religious authority in that he provides a blessing. The lessons that Scrooge are taught implies it is never too late to turn one's life around. That brings us to the end of our analysis of this quotation for today. I hope you found it useful, and if you have, do give a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos from the Quotation Bank. Don't forget to check out our study guides, where we follow the revision structure you've seen today on 25 key quotations, as well as being full of essay plans, revision activities and more. They're available from our website and other online stores, and follow us on social media. Send us a quotation and we'll try to help you out with your analysis. Thanks for listening and good luck with the exam.